10 memory games that improve active memory. There are a number of benefits for students when they play memory games. It sharpens memory skills, increases focus and concentration, reviews material, and increases motivation. In this video, I will share 10 memory activities for school. Action memory. Let's start with a fun one. Write the numbers 1 to 9 on the board with a corresponding action for each number. For example, 1 is left step, 2 right step, 3 turn, 4 left arm, right arm, down and up, turn left, turn right, make a heart. You can use whatever action you want. Start slowly and call the numbers 1, 2, 5, 6, 3. The students have to do the corresponding action. If a student makes a mistake, they sit down. The winner becomes the next one to call out the numbers instead of the teacher. Total recall. Having a good memory isn't just about how much you can remember. It's also about improving your ability to recall what you're trying to remember. And like with any skill, you should practice to improve it. Here are a few variations of total recall activities. In the description below, I put an image with 25 different objects. You can print it out or show it to your learners on a monitor. Let them look at it for 30 seconds, then take it away. Let them write down everything they've seen. It's also fun to get the students to work in pairs. Memory maze. You could also draw a grid of dots on the board, let your students copy it on a piece of paper, and then put down their pencils. Draw a path connecting the dots together. Once you give the signal, they have to copy the exact path you traced. Students can also play with a partner, where they have to take turns to draw and copy a path. Memory match or pairs. The purpose of this game is to find a set of cards. Lay them out. Students take turns to reveal 2 cards. If they match, the student keeps them. If not, turn them back around. The student who finds the most pairs is the winner. If you don't have pair cards, use a deck of playing cards. Sequence master. By practicing the skills of putting things in order improves memory. Place 5 random items in a sequence. Students try to remember the sequence before you cover it up. Now go around class with them naming the sequence. If it's too easy, increase the number of items. You can also do it with a deck of cards. See how far they can go without making a mistake. Sequencing can also be done with coins. If you have different coins, lay them out and the student has to reorganize them in the correct sequence. Make a word list. Keep one as the master file. Get your students to cut out individual words, show them the master list for 30 seconds, then they have to rearrange the list in front of them. Dictogloss. Tell the students a story. They have to retell it in a circle. It challenges them to get the gist or big picture instead of focusing on every small detail. An example of this is a trip to the market. Write a story about a trip to the market. Include all the food items you bought. Then read the story to class and see how many items they remember. Students can also sit in a circle and tell a story, each one adding a sentence or detail. So the first student starts by giving one sentence, the second one repeats the first sentence and adds their own. First, you can play with everyone correcting one another, but the version I like is where no one is allowed to help. It's fine if they make small mistakes. See how the story evolves. It could be a good idea to place a limit on how many times the story is allowed to go around the circle. You can also do this with categories. Students go around and repeat a fruit, adding their own. See how many they can say before making a mistake. Apple, apple banana strawberry, apple banana mango. Eyewitness. Have you ever been an eyewitness to a crime? Is your memory of the crime the same as other people's recollection? Here is a way to explore eyewitness memory. Plan to have someone, a teacher or another student, come into your class. Let's call this person X. X should plan on doing several things in class, such as change the time on the clock, take a book and put it in a bag, erase the chalkboard, close a window, talk to someone about something. Before X comes into the room, have all the students working or reading at their desks. When X comes into the room, most of the students will be curious about what he or she is doing. After X leaves the room, have the students write down all the things that happened. You can do this immediately after X leaves or sometime later. Once everyone has finished writing, find out what everyone remembers and what they did not. What details do they recall? What did X wear? How long was X in the room? What book did X take? Who did X talk to? What did X say? You may even ask some leading questions to influence memory. For example, if X was not wearing a hat, ask, what color hat was X wearing? Let students write down what they saw. Compare how everyone's memory was the same and different. Group memory. Tell the students to take a good look around the room. Then ask them to leave and line up outside for a couple of minutes without looking inside the class. You move or swap things around class. Remember to take a note of what you moved. Perhaps make it a nice round number like 10 things. Once the students return, ask them to tell you what 10 things have been changed in class. This is also something you can do with two teams. One team leaves and the other stays inside to change things. One person on a team is allowed to change one thing in class. It should be something noticeable. The second team returns and tries to find all the things that have been changed. Teams switch. The team that has found the most changes wins. A variation is where both teams face one another. Team 1 turns around and Team 2 changes things about their appearance. Undo buttons, swap jackets, take off a shoe. Team 1 then turns around and tries to notice how many changes the opposing team had made. False memories. Sometimes your brain makes up its own memories. Try to implant a memory by asking people to remember the words on list 1. Wait for about 5 minutes, then probe their memory by asking them which words on list 2 are also on list 1. Did they say book was on list 1? No, only pencil and school were on list 1. You can also try it with these words. Only pillow and dream were on list 1. Make up your own lists and see how you can create a false memory. Memory Master. Memory Master quizzes students on what they see. Students stare at a picture in a magazine or a children's book for 60 seconds. After time is up, quiz the students about what they can remember. For example, if the picture was an ad for food, you might ask, what foods are in the picture? How many of each type? What colors did they see? The winner is the player with the best memory, the Memory Master. Solo games. Here are some memory games you can teach your students to play on their own to improve their working memories. Say the alphabet backwards. Spell your full name backwards. Memorize 4 details of people you see in public. For example, let's say someone is wearing a black hat, has blonde hair, a triangular ring, a green sweater. Make a list, grocery items, things to do, or anything else that comes to mind, and memorize it. An hour or so later, see how many of the items you can recall. Speaking of lists, making of words students know is vital to improving memory. Students can make lists of anything. Boy names starting with B, girl names starting with M, all the fruits they know, words that mean small, all the breeds of dogs. This is similar to the categories game you can watch next.